Hello, hello. Gamer with taste here. Just wanted to make a build video for Elden Ring. This is gonna be my first build video that I've ever made, so bear with me. It's a new experience, so I'll do my best to give you the rundown of everything that I have. I just want to say this is a strength faith build, okay? So we are going to be dealing damage with strength and with faith. So I guess the first thing I'll go over is the stats. So this is just kind of like what I have right now, okay? It's a strength faith build. So obviously I'm not going to have any intelligence or arcane, really. Those stats are not going to have any points put into them at all whatsoever. But I do want to go over all the stats. So this isn't required for the build. You can stop leveling up whenever you want, but my build, the build that I'm showing you, we got 99 vigor, we got 99 mind, we got 99 endurance, we got 99 strength, and of course we have 99 faith because we're a strength faith build. And then we got 20 dexterity. Alright. Now, the only reason why I have 20 dexterity is the minimum requirements for certain weapons. I feel like 20 is a pretty good number. A lot of weapons that are kind of dex focused, like the Knight Rider's flail, I think. I was using the Knight Rider's flail at some point while making this build, while playing this build, but the thing is like 24 dexterity, I don't know. I like to exclude at least some weapons with dex. There's a lot of strength weapons that require dex in order to wield. There's a lot of dex weapons that require strength in order to wield. But I feel like if you're going for a strength faith build and not a strength dex build, then you might as well stop your dexterity at about 20. Otherwise, it doesn't really make otherwise you can pretty much end up being a dex faith build if you use the right Ashes of War, or if you play your cards right, you could still get plenty of damage out of dex weapons if you have dex, like if you have your dex set up to 40, you can use a whole lot of dex weapons. And then if you just choose the right setting for your Ash of War, it'll scale mostly off of faith anyways. So might as well exclude a good number of weapons and keep your dex, I would say, maximum at 20. But that's what I have for my stats. Now you might be thinking, wow, that's a lot. It is a lot. Thank you. I worked hard on this. So, the weapons that I like to use for this build are as follows. I always, we're a strength build. Strength can make really good use out of the fingerprint stone shield. A lot of people are like, oh, it's too good. Oh, I've seen memes where it's like, oh, I finally beat General Consort Radahn. And then they were using Anspur Rapier and the fingerprint stone shield, and the guy's like, yeah, sure. Yeah, you beat the game. Sure. But it's like, I don't know. I play the game to have fun. I don't play the game to have other people's fun. This is what I play. So these are the weapons that I enjoy using on my Strength Faith build. Fingerprint Stone Shield, absolutely amazing. Very, very good for General Consort Radahn. Very, very good against pretty much anything and everything. And being able to wield it is such a blessing with our strength. We're actually able to wield this. So why not? Why not do it? It's OP. It's good. It's great. So I use it. And the big weapon that I usually use this with is the Sacred Blacksteel Greyhammer. So, as far as I can tell, I didn't really do much research on it. I didn't look into the numbers or anything like that. But Great Hammers get pretty much the max amount of poise damage from their counterattacks. You get a block and you do the counterattack. I'm pretty sure they get the max amount of poise damage. But what's so good about the Sacred Blacksteel Great Hammer is that there's holy damage that erupts from the ground in a path ahead of it. It doesn't extend super far, but it gives you a little bit of range, a little bit of extra range on your counterattacks, and it also does poise damage. So I actually believe that this weapon, if you hit them with the counterattack and you fry them a little bit with the holy damage, I do believe this weapon will give you the most amount of poise damage possible on a counterattack. Maybe I'm wrong about that. That's how I feel about it, though. I feel like it makes sense to say that it gives you more than any other weapon. I could be wrong, but I'm fairly confident that's the way it works. I feel like that's the way it works. Doesn't mean I'm right, but that's why I use that weapon. Honestly, Great Hammers are just fantastic weapons for stance damage, poise damage. They're charged R2s, they're regular R1s. Also, it's fantastic to use with a shield. Sure, it's a strength weapon, so I am missing out on the extra strength buff that I get by dual wielding it. But look at the moveset it gives me for the light attack spam. It's all just single target, right? It's just clubbing the ground in one spot. That's it. But when I use one hand, now I have some ad clear. Now I can hit multiple enemies at once, and it's just really good for dealing with crowds. And pair that up with the benefit of having the counterattack that it has. I feel like this is the perfect weapon to pair with the Fingerprint Stone Shield. Now we do have a few other options here as well. We have the Magma Blade. You could dual wield Magma Blades and have like a jump attack, multi-hit build with it, but I feel like the real reason why you would ever use a Magma Blade, especially on this build, is like maybe they're less weak to holy damage, right? Sacred Blade is really what you want on Sacred Blacksteel Great Hammer, I think. I think that's really what you want, because Black Steel weapons get bonus holy damage when imbued with holy damage. So you want a way to imbue it with holy damage, and Sacred Blade does that. It also gives you a little bit of extra range as well. It's nice having some ranged options. Being able to throw out that holy damage is really nice. But sometimes the enemies that you're fighting aren't so weak to holy damage, and they're a little bit more weak to fire damage. Like if you're fighting the big tree guys, it's really nice using the Magma Blade. The Ash of War is just superb, honestly. The Ash of War on the Magma Blade is really why you use it. The Ash of War is fantastic, not to be slept on. Magma Blade is amazing. If you gotta switch to an arcane build in order to farm up a couple Magma Blades, it's very worth it. You can just switch right back to your other build once you have them. It's painless once you get going. Once you do it, it's really nice. You get 99 arcane and you start farming them. It really won't take you all that long, I promise you. They're really good weapons, really worth it. The Ash of War on this thing is fantastic. And there's a whole bunch of ways to buff it too. That's the other thing that is so good about this Ash of War. Like, you can actually just buff the crap out of your Ash of War. You got Shard of Alexander. Of course, that boosts your Ash of War. But then you got Talisman of the Dread. That raises the potency of the magma that it leaves behind. So that's great. But then, like, you could think, like, oh, well, that's where it all ends, right? There's nothing else to buff the Ash of War with. Well, here's the thing. You can just do multi-hit. Use the multi-hit talismans. Multi-hit talismans are honestly probably the best general way to boost all your damage on any given weapon. Like, sure, you might be able to boost jump attacks with the jump attack talisman, right? You might be able to boost charged attacks with the charge attack talisman. But as long as you're getting repetitive hits, it doesn't matter what you're hitting them with. These talismans will buff it, and you throw those two talismans on. You hit them 1, 2, 3, and then it starts stacking up the multi-hit, and that boosts attack power. And I'm pretty darn sure that applies to the magma as well. So the magma is also getting boosted by those multi-hit talismans. It's just really, really good. You can really juice up your damage with this weapon's Ash of War. It's just amazing. It's actually amazing. Solaria's Tree now is the other one that I just absolutely love. I love Solaria's Tree. It's just range. It's just extra range. That's really all it is. You just use the Ash of War, and it sends out that holy damage spiral, and it's extremely good. It doesn't do a lot of stance damage, but it goes really far. Like, it's got some range on it, and it's got some damage on it too. It does like a couple thousand, I think, something like that. It's just a really good weapon. It's not necessarily the best weapon if you're going to use R1s. It's not going to be the best weapon for counterattacks with the fingerprint stone shield. And to be completely honest, I don't think I would ever use this weapon two-handed either. I just don't see the point of it. I really just use this weapon for the Ash of War. It's really good for bosses. It's really good for just sniping bosses down from a distance. Especially if you play like I do and you summon Mimic Tier all the time. Look, man, I have no shame in it, okay? I summon Mimic Tier all the time. All the time. 24/7. Just not out on the landscape. Certain bosses I probably won't, but certain bosses I most definitely will. And then we also have the Fire Knight's Greatsword. So we have Flame Spear attached to this one. I'll be completely honest with you. The only real reason why I have this weapon at all is for Radahn and birds. Radahn and birds. Not General Consort Radahn, mind you. Just regular old Radahn. Because when you use the Ash of War, fire damage. Radahn is weak to fire damage. You use the charged R2, Pierce. Radahn is weak to Pierce damage. There's not a lot of enemies that are weak to both fire and Pierce. There's not a lot of enemies that are not only... I don't know. Every once in a while, this weapon comes in handy. It's mostly for Radahn. And if I see a bird just kind of minding his own business, Flame Spear is great for sniping it down without scaring it away. And then I can get those sweet, sweet Foul Feet so that I can farm up some runes later. Now I don't really need runes at all, so this weapon is really just kind of here for Radahn. Every once in a while you'll come across an enemy who's weak to holy damage, fire damage, and pierce, and this sword is really good for that too. If you come across an enemy with that, all you gotta do is change the Ash of War over to Sacred Blade, and then now you got fire damage. It just comes with fire damage inherently on it. So now you got fire damage, physical damage, and holy damage. So that's all very good. Super good. So, yeah. I do like this weapon, but I don't really use it a whole lot. So those are the weapons I use. I mostly just go with Black Steel Great Hammer. I actually messed around with a few different weapons. I used the Celebrant's Skull quite a bit. Great Hammers are just great weapons. Great Hammers are amazing weapons. So I used this one just to get a few extra runes out of my trouble. It's the only weapon that really pays you for using it. There's a few other weapons that do that too, but we're strength faith build, so options limited. So now that we went over the weapons, let's go over the armor. What armor am I wearing? Why am I wearing it? I'm not into fashion, okay? I mean, I don't do Elden fashion. It's just not what I usually do. What I usually do is I usually go with whatever armor weighs the heaviest or just has the best protection in general. I usually have a full set of Verdigris armor. Every once in a while, like on my arcane build, I'll be using the white mask, and it's also a bit of a jump attack build, so I'll be using Raptor's black feathers or something like that. But for the most part, I usually try to have as much poise as possible. The only reason why I don't have as much poise as possible is because of General Consort Radahn. He is the hardest boss in the game, so I would like to be prepared for the hardest boss in the game whenever I come across him on my ultimate build. So I just have all the armor that has the best holy resistance, because I mean, I can block 100% of his physical damage, but those light beams just kind of eat away at you. So it's nice having extra holy resist. And if he's the hardest boss, I might as well just stay dressed for him the entire game. Like, no other boss is really going to require me to switch out this armor. So that's why I have this armor on. Not very important, but Crucible Tree Helm is very good for holy resist. And the Solitude armor is otherwise usually the best option. So what talismans do I have? Greatjar's Arsenal is really only there so I can equip all of these weapons and still have medium load. Like, I think if I took off Greatjar's Arsenal, I just have to remove the Fire Knight's Flame Art Greatsword, which probably wouldn't be that big of an issue anymore, really, but I like having all of my weapons at my disposal. I have Erdtree's Favor +2. This raises your max HP, stamina, and equip load. Just good things to have. Max equip load is actually kind of important if you're going to be wielding so many heavy weapons like I am. You can easily take off either of these if you're really going to limit yourself to only one of these weapons, and swap them out whenever you need them in the menus. If you play like that, easily you could get rid of either of these. I like being healthy, though. I like having all the health. And I got sick and tired of drinking a healing flask and just getting really bad healing. So I do have the Crimson Seed Talisman +1. I really, really enjoy that one. Crimson Amber Medallion +3. Erdtree's Favor +2. Not only that, but I found myself questioning, like, what talismans would I really need? Like, extra stamina recovery would be nice. Yes, sure. Okay. But, like, I don't two-hand anything. Most of the time I don't need the Pearl Shield Talisman. I might use Ashes of War every once in a while, but they're usually not all that important. I'm not going to put on, I don't know. I just don't feel like talismans are all that important, so I went with stuff that's going to make me tanky. Especially for a build like this, where we honestly block so much. Like, we really just, we're already tank. Let's just lean into the tank and be more tank. Because that's all we really need. Our damage is fine the way it is. So, yeah, that's the whole build. If you're wondering about the physic that I have, I'm pretty sure, yeah, so I have temporarily boosts all damage negation and temporarily makes stance break easier. I really like the temporarily makes stance break easier. Temporarily boosts all damage negation. The Opaline hard tier is pretty mandatory for General Consort Radahn, especially at this point. I'll have you know that this build has beaten General Consort Radahn on every single playthrough. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 circlets of light. I have beat him on every single playthrough. This build has been able to handle it. about the only thing that I have to change for General Consort Radon is I gotta unequip these 2 weapons, and then I have these 2 weapons, and then the Fingerprint Stone Shield, right? So then I can get rid of Erdtree's Favor, and I can get rid of Greatjaw's Arsenal, and what I end up going with is Pearl Drake Talisman and Pearl Shield Talisman. Because at this point in the game, that holy damage is really the thing that eats away at my health. It does a lot more damage than it should. Those 2 talismans really, really help take away all that extra damage that he does. Crimson Seed Talisman is just really, really good, and I like to keep it. So I guess if there's any way to do a showcase of this build, it would... I mean, I don't have everything unlocked right now. I'm in Journey 8. So I just wanted to try and show you how this build performs against Mohg. So no guarantees I'm actually going to be able to defeat him, by the way. It's been a long time since I played on this build. I'm not going to be making great reads. I'm not that kind of gamer. But I will show you how the build performs. I will show you. Yeah, I should have seen that coming. Oof. Yeah, like I said, no guarantees that I'm actually going to kill him. But I was close. I did my best. I could go ahead and try again, but I think you guys understand the gist of it. I'm surprised I didn't get the stance break. Yeah. It is what it is, I suppose. I'm not too concerned about it. I could fight him again, but I think this pretty much wraps up my first build video, right? I am on Journey 8, and I haven't been playing this build for a long time. I did want to show it off, though, because I did get all the way to level 454. And it is actually a really nice build. It actually does do pretty good work. Maybe I'll do it one more time. But he was almost dead. I don't know. I'll leave it the way it is. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a good one. Hope you continue having good ones. And I hope to catch you on the next video, which I don't know when that's going to be. It'll happen when it happens. I'm not too concerned about it. I would like to be able to make more build videos like this in the future. But this is going to be my first one. Just trying to dip my toes in and test the waters, see what I can do, see what I can't do. It's not going to be edited. This is actually, like, you just watched the video. So, thank you for watching. But until next time, I'm going to have to catch you later. Take care.